Howdy, howdy, howdy. Today is July 7th, 2017, and this is The Garden Nerd. On today's episode, I'm going to give you a tour of the garden. Alright, let's get going. Alright, we are underneath the grape arbor, which is a little bit low, but I have a lot of grapes coming on here. They're doing very good. Some of them are drying out, which is to, happen to be understandable since there's a lot of fruit on these guys. And I'm going to have to trim these guys back a bit because, yeah, it's quite thick. Here in the rustic raised bed, I have a nice mixture of plants. I do have some lettuces left over. I got black beans, some more kale all over, some lettuces, and some collards floating around still. These are getting pretty big. Been eating off them a little bit here and there. I'm going to have to probably eat a lot more. Alright, over here in this bed here, I have more kale, some nasturtium, chives, and let all the carrots kind of go to seed and the onions go to seed, just kind of letting them be. See if I can save some of these seeds. If not, it's good for the pollinators. Alrighty, folks, up here in the lasagna garden, we have the Swiss chard that is going to seed. Right in front of it is some zucchini. In the back there is a cabbage. Along the back is broccolis. Some more collards right up here. Then a mixture of plants over here on the side. I think I have some yellow squash, or some kind of squash there, a tomato that I transplanted. Right here, though, this right here, these little guys, are black cherry tomatoes. I was given some seeds from a subscriber. Thanks, Amber. Alright, next to the lasagna bed is this lovely guy over here. Now, this is a zucchini plant that I planted a little bit sooner. And I'm starting to get my first couple zucchini on there, which is pretty exciting. There's actually 3 in this one spot. I didn't really thin it out because I just kind of want to see how well it does if it's really clustered. Could be a total mistake. It probably is, but I want to try different things out here. Over here on this side, I got some lettuce and some basil, which is now getting a little shaded out from that guy. And then the onions back here, which are looking to be about done. And then, marigold just kind of popped in for, variety of things. Alright, over here on the tomatoes. So these tomatoes are doing pretty good. They're growing up. I've been twisting them up around. If you saw my video on how I did that, I'll put a link down in the comments, or in the thing down there. You can see, now they're already up here. It's about a good 4-ish feet high, and a good amount of fruit has set on these guys. I believe the ones over here are the Independents, which are like the cocktail tomatoes. So yeah, they should be ripening sometime soon. I do have a goodish amount of fruit sets. Then up here I have the Abe Lincoln tomatoes, so they're going on, and they're setting some flowers and setting some fruits. Then the Rutgers up here in the front, these cluster of 4 here. And then I had to volunteer what I think is a butternut squash, along with the beets. On the other side here, I took out most of the turnips already. I've eaten them. There's a couple turnips here and there. So yeah, this is a fairly productive spot, which is pretty exciting. Then up here in the weaved bed, I got the cabbage over here in the front, and then I got some green bean bush type up here. And they look like they're just about ready to start producing for me. I mean, there's like some little tiny ones, so in a couple of days, should be getting some green beans. On the back there is the straight 8 cucumbers, which are doing pretty good. I think I got a nice good one here. Give you a good shot of that. Yep. Got this guy right here. That's a good sized cucumber. But yeah, so I'm hoping that I'll get a goodish amount of crops from up here. I mean, I gave them this little trellis and they've already like reached up to the top. I'm just hoping that will work out. Also in the front here, I have a couple parsnips that have actually popped up. Some little ones there. I've reseeded again. I'm hoping to get some parsnips by the end of the year. Cross your fingers. Alright, right up here in this jammer up here, I have the nasturtium, which has gone kind of crazy and bushy up here. I have tried the leaves. That is pretty good. And the flowers are pretty good. It's an interesting flavor. I'll give it that. I'll see if it grows on me. I'm not a huge fan. I mean, I really like the flowers because they got like the little lily pods type things and the little flowers there. Up in the front here, I have chamomile going. So I'm going to hopefully get some of that for some tea later on. And then I got radishes here, which some of them are doing good. Others of them have already started bolting. This is probably like my last rotation of radishes for the season until maybe the fall, because I'm kind of like just too many radishes. And then as you can see, some onions in the back. Those are doing pretty good. Some decent sized onions there. Better than the other ones because I think I buried those too deep. And then some flowers, some zinnias and marigolds floating around. Alright, over here in this little square jammer, I took out half the turnips on this one, and then I've put in basil and parsley on the side here. So that's going to be pretty good. And then these turnips are pretty much done too, because this doesn't get a lot of sun. Alright, right in the front of the garden here, I got some cabbages. This is where the broccoli is. A lot of it has already started bolting, so I've been kind of cutting it back and trying to get what I can. But the broccolis, I think, are going to be more or less done. Another volunteer squash. I think it's a butternut as well. I'm just going to let that go and grow up into the flowers there and let it do what it's going to do. All along the middle here, I have Swiss chard. And then on the sides is more lettuce. So this way I kind of like interplanting the lettuce and the Swiss chard. So this way I can get some more production out of this front spot here. Since it doesn't get a lot of sun, I figured the leafy stuff will do pretty good on here. So black-eyed Susan right there, and a marigold. Then up here on this bed, I have some squash there. I think that's butternut that I just kind of popped there. Some flowers, and then this is the hardneck garlic, which should be getting done pretty soon, probably about the end of the month. Right here, and this is sorghum. I kind of planted it out here. It's doing okay. I'm going to see how well it does in this shady spot. Hopefully I'll get something, and then I'll have like another source of cover crop, and you can like grind that up into like a flower and whatnot. Here I just transplanted some beets in here. They're, you know, just kind of starting out. This is again a very shady spot. Some more squash and a zinnia. Alright, right here in the centermost sunniest part of the garden, I have black beans that I transplanted in here, in the front here. There are some beets kind of interplanted in these a little bit. As you can see, like a little beet. I also have some other transplants in here. Like I have okra right here. Some okra plants. I haven't grown that. I think they're kind of like peppers. I've had it in like a dish or two before and I liked it. Again, those seeds were provided by Amber. Thanks, Amber. So yeah, so got the black beans in the front. Kind of have some interplanted, an onion and marigolds up here. Alright, in the middle here, I have a nice experimental plant. Again, seeds provided by Amber. Thanks, Amber. This is a 1,500-year-old bean. It's a vining one, thus the little TP going on here. And it's already doing pretty good. She gave me 8 seeds. I've used 4 of them just to make sure if I had backups if they died or got eaten. But they're actually doing pretty good. They're vining all over. I may have to expand this area to do something to give them more places to climb. But there's these cool black and white type beans. I'm going to see how they are, maybe save the seeds and see if they're yummy. Over here is more of the hardneck garlic. I cut off the scapes and I made some garlic scape pesto. So that's going to be pretty exciting when I get some fresh basil and I'm able to kind of blend that together into something very yummy. Over here I have interplanted the different peppers that I have here. There's some like sweet peppers and some hot peppers. And then there's the beets, which have been doing pretty good. Just letting some of them get a bit more bigger and kind of eating off them as I want. But yeah, I did good time with these beets. I think last year my major problem was just the lack of sunshine they got in that one spot. Alright, in my flower bed here I got some zinnias, some bachelor buttons, asters, some sunflowers that are starting up here, and some more zinnias in the back, along with some other flowers that I don't remember which variety they are, just kind of floating around. Right here is the Shasta daisies that I planted last year. So this is the first year that they're coming and blooming, and I am very happy with the big blooms that I have off on these guys. I did start some more and they're planted next to them. I do hear that these guys will continue to, drop seeds and continue to expand, which I'm kind of cool with. Over here, the nasturtium over here is doing, like, amazing. Better than the other ones. You got, like, these guys here. They're all edible, the plant. So let me take a pop over here. So just like that, so you can eat it like lettuce. And it has a flowery kind of peppery type flavor, kind of like a radish. It has some heat. It's kind of pleasant. It's interesting. Again, I'm not sure how much I like it, but it's there, and it's an edible type crop. So that's kind of cool, and it has very pretty flowers. Like, look at that. And these are edible as well. You can just, pop the flowers off there, and you can eat those. So yeah, I mean, it's an interesting flavor. The flower buds have a kind of a sweet and then a peppery punch to them. So it's interesting. And over here in this backjammer garden, I got the potatoes growing here. A lot of them are the purple variety, so that's kind of cool. I threw a tomato in this corner. Pepper kind of right there, if you can kind of see it blending in there. Some more beets, kale in the side there. Got that wonderful cabbage going there. I'm kind of excited because it's looking like really good. Up here, I have some more kale, some lettuce that I transplanted in. This is a pumpkin, again from Amber, thank you. Watermelon, again from Amber. So I am putting good use to those seeds. I made this trellis over here for these guys to go. I'm going to let the watermelon grow. I'm going to try to train it up the fence here so it has some extra places to go. Over there is some butternut squash, which I'm going to attempt to do the same. Give it some room to kind of climb upward to see how well that's doing. I mean, I've seen other people do it, so I'm just going to try it and see if I have any luck with it. Okay, up in the container garden area here, I had peas in here. I was eating off those for a little bit. I'm not like a huge pea fan, so, I kind of tore these guys out and I've put pickling cucumbers in here. So my plan is, these little guys are going to grow. I'm going to let them climb up here onto this trellis type thing, and hopefully I'll be able to get some good pickling cucumbers to pickle, hopefully this year. Then right over here in this container, I have two different kinds of mint, spearmint and peppermint here. I'm going to have to kind of trim these guys back so this way they're not going to go and invade the other pots and or the dirt and just kind of have a mint forest everywhere. Then over here in this container is I have two different peppers. I have the big Jim peppers, which there's two of them sitting right side by side. I didn't thin them out because I am lazy and I probably should, but and then I have some sweet peppers in the back there. I'm just kind of tying it up on space. The Black Simpson lettuce I've been kind of chomping on, and then I have some kale, which I've also been chomping on a little bit, right here, which I'm going to probably crop out again soon and maybe reseed for something else. And the black containers here are all the hugelkultur containers with the manure and vermiculite filling. And, the plants seem to be doing really well. I was kind of more worried about the peppers, but they're doing pretty good. I haven't seen any, sad droopiness from them. They are heat loving, so I'm hoping that these guys will do good here. And then at the end here, I just have some of the peas, which I should have trellised in some way because they've just kind of fallen over and whatnot. And there's like, you know, a pea here or there to get here, you know. Just little skinny pea pod. Right here in the trial beds, if you remember, this side is the dug bed. The left side here is the undug bed. I have the peppers. That's the big Jim peppers on either side here. In the middle, I transplanted recently some Swiss chard. And then in the back are the cabbages, which have been in for a while. So far it's been kind of surprising how these guys are actually doing. I was expecting the dug bed to probably be, you know, about the same, if not like, you know, possibly a little bit better, since I feel like the incorporation of the soil and compost together I thought would do better. It might be the fact that it wasn't completely finished compost, so it might be tying up nitrogen. But what I ended up doing is I got some blood meal, which is an organic fertilizer. It's a 1200, and I sprinkled some around each of the plants to kind of perk them up since they weren't doing too great. That seems to have helped, but I made sure I was doing evenish amounts on both sides, so this way, you know, one side wasn't getting too much more favorable than the other. But again, I'm actually kind of surprised that my no-dig side here is doing better than the dug side, because the dug side gets like a tiny bit more sun a little bit sooner, just by how the sun, you know, rotates around the house. So I'm pretty, you know, excited by how this is going so far. As long as I get some crops out of here, I'll be happy, because this is just like, you know, a little experiment. Alright, in the news raised bed, the azalea is doing fine. Haven't seen any problems from that. Over here, I transplanted a loganberry, which is a blackberry and raspberry hybrid. I got it for free from one of my local stores because it's been sitting there for a while, and I asked them, I'm like, so, like, do you think it's going to be okay? And they're like, you know what, you can just have it for free. So, if it pops up and does well and actually comes to life, that will be pretty awesome. It is this little stem right here. I transplanted the root ball, and I'm just kind of hoping that's going to perk up. It's been there for a week, so I don't know. If it doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world since I actually didn't have to pay for it. Alright, so the blueberries here are doing okay. You know, I got some fruit sets. Again, this is, I think, like, officially the, like, second or third year that they've been in here. Like, number 3, I'll have to look. But, you know, the middle one's doing okay. The one on the left has, like, these long guys. And then last year I had to trim this guy down from damage. So that's going to be rebushing. So the middle one is the one that I'm going to have hopes for to get some possibly decent production next year. Again, it's not in the best location because they use guys like a lot more full sun. But even with some partial sun and shade from, you know, the lilac tree and the house, you can see the shadow from the roof. I do get some fruit from here. Would I plant these guys in here again? Probably not. I'd probably maybe establish something that gets a bit more sun and more sunny spot. But, you know, it's already in here. I did the work for it. But yeah, hopefully it will give me some nice blueberries. Alright, last but not least, I kind of wanted to show you this area here. It's on the other side of the garden. You can kind of get a perspective here. This is kind of like the divider area that I have here. Between like yard and garden. It's just kind of what has always been here since I was a kid. But in here, I have some black caps, which are basically wild blackberries. They get a nice dark blue to black on here. So like you'll see this guy right here. That's a one there. And you kind of just treat them like raspberries. They will just kind of go everywhere. So yeah, just kind of wanted to show you that, you know, you can have some production and just kind of have a wild mess in this area. I did kind of like work to kind of trim back some like plants. The rose bush in here was just kind of going out of hand. So I kind of trimmed that back and shortened it up a little bit, but I have a lot of just random wild blackcaps in here. And they do well here. And the birds don't seem to, you know, eat too many of them over here. So yeah. Alrighty folks, this is Gardener signing off. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share. Bye.